Hey guys, I hope you're having a great start to your Thanksgiving holiday. I thought I would just pop on really quick with 3 sort of quick fun facts about Thanksgiving because it is such a fascinating holiday and it might be useful to have a little perspective this year about where we've come from. So I was looking over what was actually served on the first Thanksgiving. And it's a lot of the same foods that we would eat today, like turkey, for example. But we can't forget that the pilgrims came from across the seas and they landed on the coastline of America. And so probably also served during that Thanksgiving feast is quite a bit of seafood. Some think oysters, some think mussels, some say eel. I'm nonpartisan about a lot of stuff. I'm Italian. I'd eat calamari, no problem. Eel? I have a strong opinion about. I'm not sure I would serve that on my Thanksgiving table, but there is a likelihood it was served during the first Thanksgiving. So that's number one. The second thing you should know is that oftentimes we think about Thanksgiving, I do, of a purely American holiday because of the New World, the discovery of the New World. But what's interesting is that the British really sanctioned Thanksgiving celebrations during the early colonies. And that's why President George Washington knew about the tradition. It was a tradition that had been passed on for more than 100 years at the point that he became the first president of America. So in 1789, that's part of the reason that he knew about the tradition enough to say, hey, let's celebrate this as a new country, which they did. And he made that proclamation from New York City, which I also think is sort of interesting to think about. So much of America will be looking towards New York City on Thanksgiving, not because the president's there anymore, although it was the seat of government when President George Washington was serving his first term, but because of the Thanksgiving Day parade. So our eyes sort of still turn towards New York City, where the first president made the first proclamation for Thanksgiving. But you'd be right to say, well, wait a minute, wasn't it President Lincoln that made it an official holiday? And that is the case. But President Lincoln was lobbied by a woman that was very fascinating. Her name was Sarah Hale, and she served as the editor for the first women's magazine published for women by women in America. And she had this passionate feeling about American tradition, and she wrote President Lincoln and published many editorials during the 1800s to say Thanksgiving should be a national holiday. And that's one of the reasons people think that President Lincoln made his proclamation saying that it would be a national holiday, third Thursday of November. And that's the tradition that we celebrate today. He did that, by the way, the same year that he wrote and delivered the Gettysburg Address. So the nation was incredibly divided. And I want you to think about that. If I hear one more person say, well, it's divided times, I am going to scream. I bet you are too. You know, America has always lived in divided times. In fact, we were 13 separate colonies. So division has been part of our origin. The important thing is not to get too trapped in it, right? And that we're so divided that we're silencing other people. We want to do that. So just something to think about as you're going into your Thanksgiving holiday and maybe having some political conversations now and then. Just a little food for thought. As far as gratitude, I'm so thankful for SmartHER News and so thankful that we're a part of each other's lives. Thank you for supporting us and driving us to do better. And I'm so excited about the year ahead and so thankful for the community that we've built. So have a great Thanksgiving with you and your family. And I'll be thinking of you tomorrow and what you're serving. And hopefully it's not eel. But if it is, send photos because we all want to see that. Happy Thanksgiving, guys. I'll see you next week on SmartHER News.